Hello, I'm Richard Burton from the Richard Burton Watercolour channel here at Bempton on the Yorkshire coast. And today I'm going to talk about a single tip that really helps you unlock your watercolours to make them really special. Watercolour to me is about a dance with time. It's about unlocking the moisture, feeling the paint, being able to capture the magic of watercolour when it's on a moist and damp surface. This painting is the one we're going to do. It's a scene at Bridlington on the coast, a big sky, and I'm going to show you how to capture real mood and atmosphere using this unique tip. And it'll be something special. Let's get down to it. But just before we start, we've got our free watercolour starter guide, which is 5 tips back into watercolour. If you're new to watercolour or you're coming back from a time away, it's ideal because it's got 5 special tips to get you back into water, get you going, get you started. Just get yourself a copy. It's in the link below. Print yourself up and let me know how you get on with it. In the meantime, let's get back to the painting.
Okay, so this is a scene. It's a scene of the coast here, Bridlington, with Flamber Head in the distance. It's what I call calm before the storm. You've got that sun just coming through the clouds, and we're just going to now start with the pencil, sketch it in, and then obviously we've mostly just got the horizon line. And then with the paper itself is a 300 gram knot surface paper, and we're going to use just 4 brushes and 3 wash ones and 1 sharp one just to get a bit of detail. Okay, so now down to the painting. Well, we're going to start with a little bit of colour story, just with the warm colours, which are essentially going to be cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, a little bit of crimson, and also a little bit of purple lake. And that will just be the warm side of the painting. And then what we're going to do, we're going to wet the paper first, make sure that we get as much moisture and water on the paper as I can, and the key there is to wet the paper and let it soak in so that we get a nice even wash. I'm going to leave a little bit of white showing just for the sun, because that's going to be the actual whitest part. That's going to keep the brightness there, and just make sure I give it a good soaking. I'm using my number 16 round brush, bringing that down and ensuring that I've got a really good soaking. Now you can see, even from the screen here, you can see it glistening back. That shows you that the moisture is wet, the paper's wet. I'm just going to take that down, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause a little bit just to let it soak in, so that we start moving to what I call a damp surface, where it just starts to create that satin sheen. Now once it's damp, I'm going to put in the cadmium yellow, which is the brighter yellow around the sun. Bring that down. As I come down, I'm going to use a bit of the yellow ochre, just diffuse that through, and then as I come further down, I'm going to start using the alizarin crimson and just diffuse that around and bring it away from the centre of the paper. Now alongside that, I'm going to use a touch of cadmium orange as well, just to mix in. These are all the warmer tones. Just keep them going, keep them flowing, and all the time the paper is starting to soak in the moisture, and I'm going to drop in the colours as we go. And as you can see, they're going on to the surface now, whereby they're just holding their shape. They're going on, but they're holding their shape. They're not totally diffusing away. So this is not wet in wet. It's more of moving towards a wet on damp, so that I can get the colours in and they'll just hold the shape. And now once I've done that, I'll also come beyond the horizon. I'm going to bring these warm colours into the land, into the wet beach, and bring them down, just trying to get that range of tones that I'm after. So I've got that warm yellows, and then I've got that sort of crimson colours, and just let those go in and just let them soak in. Now I'm letting this soak in. Now the key here, the most important tip, is let your colours just soak in. And that is you moving from this wet stage to this damp stage, this damp and moist stage. That's going to be crucial. Now I'm going to make some darker colours, which is going to be my purple lake and a little bit of ultramarine blue, cobalt blue sort of combination. I'm going to start now to drop these colours on the sides of the paper just to start to bring out the clouds. Now, as you see, I'm going to drop these colours, and what's happening is they're sort of holding the shape on the paper, but they are diffusing a little bit, but not very much. What I'm doing is I'm controlling the amount of diffusion by ensuring that the moisture on the paper is just damp and not wet. That means the paper's got capacity to hold the paint and the moisture without just diffusing and muddying the whole picture up. And if you can capture that, that is the magic moment. I call it the Goldilocks zone because it does vary. It depends on the moisture and it depends on the warmth of the room as to how long you've got, because what's happening, the paper is drying even while you're painting during this time. And my ability to be able to understand that and get a feel for this. Now, if you look on the screen here, you can see that the moisture level is not glistening like it was earlier. It's now just got that satin sheen. So what I'm doing now, I'll put that initial wash of grey. I'm now adding a little bit of a stronger mix, which I'm going to use something like ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt umber with a touch of crimson to create a stronger dark. I'm now putting the stronger clouds in place and I'm dropping them in. And as you can see, those clouds are holding the shape. They're not blurring away, and it's just about holding the shape. And the key is it hasn't drying. It's not dried yet. I'm still in that moist and damp surface. And I know I'm making an emphasis on this, but it is crucial because if you can capture this, it really will bring your colours to life and it will bring your clouds to life. Now I'm making a bit more stronger dark here, and I'm going to overlay it with some more. And as you can see, even these overlaid darks that are going on to the earlier wash are holding the shape. They're not diffusing away, they're holding the shape, and that means that those colours will not only will they go in place, but they're going to diffuse, they're going to blend, they're going to interact with one another, because this is the time when watercolour really wants to paint itself. It really does. It wants to show you what it can do. It wants to show off and give you that bit of magic. And that's what it's doing. So I'm actually dropping some singular colours in there as well. A bit of blue going in. It's interacting with the earlier colour. But as you can see, there's no hard edges. But at the same time, the colours are shining. We're getting that magic that's coming together. Now, this is something that I really do go into a lot of detail in my new online watercolour course. And it really is something that I've been developing for, I've been painting this for over 20 years and teaching this for over 20. Obviously I've been painting all my life, but it really is, it's the magic that really makes your watercolours really come to life. And as you can see now, while I'm just talking, we're putting those clouds across the front. And what's happening? They're holding the shape, but they've still got that diffusion about them. I mean, I could argue I could make them stronger and stronger and build them up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to hold them at that and let you see how those colours are shaping, holding their shape, diffusing. And as we go through this painting, you'll see those emerging. It's because it's not all about the brushstroke. It isn't. It's more about putting the colours together on the right moisture. If you can do that, the magic happens. It just happens, trust me, and you get something really, really special. Now I'm going to bring this down onto the beach, and I've done the same. I'm also going to just try and capture a few feelings of the sun rays coming through. You can use your finger for this. You can also use your brush by just lifting off a little bit of moisture off your brush and just lifting off. And as you can see, I can capture a bit of those. And I'm doing that again on this moist and damp surface. And when you get that put together, it really is something special. Okay, so now the key is have our coffee break, have a little bit of a break because I want to let it dry. Let all that soak in. We've done the washes. The most important thing now is to let them dry, not take it too far. You can take it too far and then you turn it into mud. So the key there, leave it. Now we'll come back to it. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to deal with the distance, a little bit of feeling of the layers in the painting. Now we're going to start with the headland in the background, and this really is just a combination of cobalt blue and light red. And I'm going to just use my smaller brush and just drop in that headland. I'm going to change the colours a little bit as I go out towards the distance, and that's going to be a little bit more on the blue side and then a little bit more on the grey side as I move towards the left hand side. Just put those in again, let the individual colours just blend into one another a little bit so you get that diffusion even in that distance, and that'll do for that. We'll now just look at trying to get the water in, which is the sea, which is mostly the cobalt blue. And I'm going to drop that in, cobalt blue, and again with a little bit of light red, but it's mostly the cobalt blue. Drop that in, try to just have it a little bit more diffused in line with the sun, so the light is just capturing the sea, and it just leaves that. I'm also going to leave a little bit of white for some of the waves that are coming ashore as well, so you've just got that movement. It's just simple brush strokes at this stage, no real detail. And then once I've done that, I'm just going back into the headland just to put a few little suggestions of silhouettes on the headland, just give that a little bit of sparkle a little bit later on. And then once we've done that, we'll then come forward. Now I'm putting a little bit more colour into the beach, which in this case is more the yellow ochre out of the warm side of the palette with a little bit of crimson in there as well. So I'm going to make a more of the yellow in the middle, and then that little combination mix either side. And I'm also now, once I've done that, I'm going to go back onto the left hand side and put the town. There is a suggestion of the town. It's almost a silhouette really. This is a darker mix. This is ultramarine blue and burnt umber with a touch of crimson. I'm going to put that darker block of colour in, which will just give the impression of the town sort of emerging into the picture on the left hand side, with a few marks here with my smaller brush just to give a suggestion of a few details and a few definitions. Nothing specific, just enough to be able to allow the eye to sort of capture and interpret the rest. And then I'm going to bring this dark down into the yellow ochre that I put in earlier, so it diffuses on that surface. So again, I'm just trying to put the marks in onto the beach, onto that earlier wash, and then just they will nicely diffuse and just give that little bit of suggested of detail. And then as I come forward, I'm going to mix up some stronger alizarin crimson, put a bit of that in, add some water, diffuse it, move it about the paper. I'm going to lift off a little bit, and also going to add some clear water in parts as well, so it just varies a little bit of a touch. I also want to try and make sure that I've got some colour both left and right of the beach, so you've got a little bit more darker tones, and then leaving it lighter and more vibrant in the foreground. That's going in quite nicely. And then while that again is just diffusing and just again capturing that bit of moisture, it's sinking into the paper, because don't forget the earlier wash has dried, so we're putting that moisture and that colour in place. I'm going to put a few dark marks here and there. These are just suggestions of a few undulations on the beach, and they're going to go onto this moist and damp surface, not wet again, it's moist and damp surface, so you have to just wait for the paper just to lose that shine, lose that glistening. You're just going to get that satin sheen, which is the key moment when you know that the moisture, you'll be able to put the colours in, they'll hold their shape and just diffuse. And as you can see, I'm just dropping those few dark marks just to give a few texture in to the surface of the foreground. I'm also going to do a little bit of splattering in there as well. But what's happening, they're going to go onto a moist surface, they're going to soften themselves, they're going to diffuse themselves, and then as we've done that, I'm then going to put a few darker marks with a smaller brush and just generally build up a little bit of extra dark as we go. And now I'll let that dry again, if you like. Well, not so much let it dry, but just let it pause for a moment. Pause, it soak in. And now, as you can see, I've made a little bit of extra dark, just a bit stronger tone. And now I'm just going to dance this on the surface. It's going onto this moist and damp surface, and then that just gives that little bit of extra texture, a little bit of definition. And then all I'm left with now is just to put the figures in, which I'm going to use my smaller brush, which again is going to be a much stronger mix of cobalt blue, burnt umber and a touch of crimson, and just put those figures in. It's basically a couple of figures and a dog with a little bit of paler reflections underneath. And then we'll let that soak, let that just settle, and if there's any final details we'll put them in, but really it's as simple as that. And then what you get there, the colours are blending, the colours are diffusing, it's doing its own stuff as it starts to dry. And as you can see, I hope you're taking away, I'm using as few brush strokes as I can get away with, but I'm letting the colour, the paper and the water do the work. And if you can get that moisture right, you get a magic result. Now remember, this painting is not about detail and shape, it's all about mood and atmosphere.
Okay, so there we have it. Once again, I put a mount round it, I put a frame round it, as I often say. This is the painting. We really have captured something, the magic of watercolour. That's for me the magic of water. I mean, we've done it really quickly, don't get about it. But the key for me is that moisture, that moist and damp surface, being able to paint, put your colours, put your tones onto that moist and damp surface and let the colours blend, let them diffuse in a controlled way. And being able to do that, layer it up and recognising the surface, recognising the right surface to put your colours on, you really do. Not only do the colours go on where you want them and you get that shape, but you actually, the blending, diffusing, granulating, you're getting all the magic. Because watercolour, at the end of the day, it wants to paint itself and you've got to give it that opportunity. And you can only paint it while it's onto a moist or a damp surface, because then it has time, they have time to play and really bring the magic out. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And the beauty about this one, you can do it and you can have a go and let me know how you get on, because I think you'll find you'll really enjoy this painting. And this ability to capture the moisture, capture the colour, and being able to hold the colours together is something that really does make a difference. It holds the colours and it makes your watercolours go to another level. And it's something that we've been developing, well, I've been developing, and I've been painting this, and I've been teaching this for over 20 years. And it's in our new online watercolour course, which covers all aspects of this moisture development and being able to paint your colours onto the surface to be able to get the maximum out of your watercolour. And it's in the link below. So when you're ready to take your watercolours to the next level, it's there for you. And finally, we're getting close to nearly 15,000 subscribers, which, considering we're only 15 months, I mean, it's a big thank you to you all for those that you've been with me and those that you're new to the channel and just finding this material and find our techniques really interesting. Please, you know what I'm going to say, do like and subscribe, because it gets us picked up by a wider audience and it just enables us to celebrate the wonders of watercolour. So, in the meantime, enjoy and keep painting.